You the one I wanna be next to. Hope you don't mind when I text you. Stop playing, girl, let me bless you. Oh, you back again. Say you single and you ready, girl, what's happening? I let you leave me once before and I can't pass again. No, I can't play around with you, I'm on your ass again.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see by the thumbnail and the title, today's video is going to be how you turn your curly hair from dark to this perfect ginger color, perfect for the fall. And if you guys like to see how I achieve this look, make sure to stay tuned to this video. Before we get into this video, make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on your post notifications that you guys never miss any more uploads. Also, make sure to leave down in the comment box below any video suggestions that you guys would like me to do. I love how this came out. This is my very first time dyeing a wig, so I definitely love how it came out. I think I did a pretty good job. If you guys think so as well, make sure to also leave that down in the comment box below. If you guys like to see how I achieve this look, make sure to stay tuned to this video. With that being said, let's get right into the video.
Okay, so right here I'm just basically showing y'all my trash bags that I have on my table. I decided to do this because I didn't want any product or nothing to get on my table. Then this is the bleach that I decided to use. This is the same exact brand. I'm not really sure why it looks a little different on the front, but this is the exact same brand. You want to use this. I just feel like almost everybody uses this exact brand, so that's why I decided to get it. Then you're going to use the 50 volume developer. This is the strongest and highest developer you can use. I decided to do 50 because I want it to be very vibrant. Also, you're going to need a detangling comb and a dye brush. A detangling comb because this is a curly wig that I'm going to be using today, and of course a dye brush to actually be able to dye the hair. And I'm going to be using a plastic bowl because I do want to use that bowl to mix my dye and developer.
Okay, so I am not a skilled person at this. I'm not really sure exactly what I was doing. I just saw a lot of videos on other people doing it. So if I was doing anything wrong, it don't matter because it turned out pretty good to me. So first I am going in with the bleach powder. I didn't do any specific measurements. I just kind of eyed it and just try to like see based upon like how I wanted it to be. You do want the consistency to be a little runny, not too runny, but more runny than thick. You don't want it to be too thick. So I just put enough to where I feel like, you know, it'll be enough for me. My wig was a 12-inch, so I didn't really need that much product. And you don't want to go in and just put too much mixture into the bowl because, you know, you're going to be throwing away a lot of that. So you want to, you know, start off with a good amount. And if you need more, you can make more if you decide you really need more. So this is how the consistency wants to look. You want to make sure that it's really well blended out. Make sure, you know, I feel like you probably want to mix it for about a good 3 to 5 minutes or whatever before you actually use that mixture. But, you know, just see me mixing it or whatever, and you can get an idea of basically what you need, what you would want your mixture to be like before you actually apply it onto the wig. So this wig that I'm going to be using today is a wig that I've had for about a year now. I got it from Klaiyi. I'll leave it down in the description box below. It's just a curly 12-inch bob lace frontal wig that I had for a minute. I decided to dye it this color for the fall time. So yeah, I'm just basically showing y'all how it looks. It's already plugged, bleached knots already and everything. So I didn't have to do anything extra besides just bleaching it. So that's how it looks. It's really, really cute. But I just wanted to do something different to it or whatever. Like I said, I'll leave it down in the description box below.
Okay, so first, before I do get into this process, I definitely want to let y'all know that I feel like a mannequin is pretty much necessary for this process. I'm pretty sure y'all probably already know that, but it's definitely most necessary. I feel like the process will go by so much quicker and easier if you have a mannequin. I don't, because I don't do this. It's my very first time ever dyeing a wig like properly, so that's why it took me a while. Well, not a while, it took me a minute to get done, and I also had trouble with, you know, trying to dye it properly. But basically how I dyed my wig, I didn't want an ombre effect. I wanted the whole entire wig to be colored, so I decided to just like apply bleach everywhere, like try to get as much as I could. I couldn't, but that's what I was trying to go for, you know. And also another thing, I do recommend gloves as well, because I just, you know, gloves is pretty much like common sense, but I didn't have any gloves, so I just, yeah, I definitely recommend gloves. That's all I'm gonna say. I've seen a couple of tutorials in which some people decide to do the ombre effect. Some people decided to go ahead and just bleach like the whole entire week. That's what I was going for. So that's basically what I'm doing, making sure that I try to pretty much coat everything as much as possible. And because this is a curly wig, that's why I said the detangling comb is very much necessary for this process, because you want to make sure, in order for you to be able to get like every strand, you want to make sure that the hair is actually combed out. So you don't want to use a brush, because it'll brush out the curl pattern. So detangling comb or detangling brush will definitely be pretty necessary for this process. And also another thing that I want to mention is that the dye, because I used the 50 volume developer, the hair processed very, very quickly. Like within a couple of minutes, it was starting to change color. So when it does do that, I definitely recommend you to pick up the process. That's why I say a mannequin head is very necessary, because when you have a mannequin head, you have a lot more control of what you're doing. So yeah, and when you see that color like really transpiring very quickly, you want to make sure that you are like really picking up your speed, because it can affect like your outcome of your hair. So something that I found out is that if you are trying to turn your wig from a dark, like 1B or whatever, natural hair color, to like a ginger or something vibrant, you want to make sure that you do this process first. It is not going to be easy just to dye it with the ginger hair dye. You want to make sure that you bleach it first, because when you bleach it, you allow the hair to be vibrant and vibrant. So that color takes very easily, and it takes better when you bleach the hair first, unless you have 613 bundles to begin with. But because my hair was originally like a natural brown color, it was very important for me to do this process. So you do have to, if you're wondering if you have to do this process, yes, you do. And right here, I'm basically just making another mixture, because I did run out the first time, so I'm just making a little bit more, because I did have some more hair to go. And so after about 30 minutes of me having to do that, now this is how it looks. It's already processed before I even got done. But I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. You want to let it sit like and collectively for about 10 minutes, so that everything can really marinate. So one side will be vibrant, other side not vibrant. And then right here, this is how the wig looks after being set for 10 minutes. I didn't add anything to it. This is just me rinsing it in lukewarm water, not too hot or not too cold. And I'm just basically making sure that I pretty much not get all of the hair down, because it's not going to just the bleach out, because it's not just going to come out like that. But make sure that that you rinse it out first. Then I'm going to be using some shampoo. I don't really have a certain brand of shampoo that I recommend. Honestly, I'm not really sure if there is a certain brand of shampoo to use, but I just used some shampoo that I had at home. This is the shampoo that I use, the Suave Ocean Breeze or whatever. I got the picture out to the side if you guys are interested in it or whatever. I'll leave it down in the description box below. And then basically you want me to lather the shampoo into the hair, and then you want to use your detangling comb throughout this whole process, just like if you were basically dyeing your real hair. A detangling comb is always just very necessary if you do have that curly pattern or whatnot. So just going to rinse it out, keep rinsing out. I did put shampoo on the hair about 2 or 3 times, because you don't want to leave bleach and stuff in the hair. It just will mess up the overall outcome of the hair when it's done. Also, I'm going to be using this conditioner. This conditioner is found to be very common to use for curly pattern wigs and natural hair. It's the Aussie conditioner, like just for curly hair or whatever. So I'll leave it down in the description box below. Just like your natural hair, you know, you want to make sure that you do lather the conditioner up into the hair. Then once after applying a generous amount, you want to use the Detangling Comb again, and then you're going to let the conditioner sit in the hair for about 5 minutes. And this is how the hair looks after it is shampooed and conditioned. It is not dry yet, so this is how it looks still wet. And so because I wasn't in a real rush to get this process done, I did allow my hair to dry overnight. So this was the next morning. And of course your hair will be dry before the next morning, but like I said, I really wasn't in a real rush to complete this process. So this is how it looks. It looks so good as is, but of course I wanted to do the ginger color for the fall. But this looked really, really cute. Like I almost wanted to keep it like that. But as you guys can see, it did have that ombre effect going on. There wasn't something intentional, but I had to really hurry up with the process because I found that I was really taking a little bit too long dyeing or bleaching it. So that's why it looked a little dark in some areas, but it wasn't nothing too bad because when I actually was able to dye it, it definitely balanced out well. So this is the part where I actually dyed the hair. I'm going to be using a big bowl, and I also decided to boil some hot water on the stove. I find that this is the best way to be able to do the watercolor method because like the water, like the dye just mixes so well with hot water. It allows the dye to really be able to mix and not leave the hair so patchy, the dye so patchy in the hair. So I'm going to be filling it up about halfway with the strictly hot water. Then I'm going to be getting 2 cups of water from the sink, just cold water, just to kind of balance it. I don't want it to be too hot so it's like scorching hot. I'm just scared to put my hands up in it. So yeah, just 2 cups of cold water from the sink will do the job. This is the 2 dye I'm going to be using. The first one is going to be 56 Cajun Spice. This has a little bit more of an orange or undertone, or an orange look to it. So I went ahead and used the 58 Cinnamon with it because it gave me more like a brownish red tone. So both of those together was going to give me the look that I was going for. So both of these are from the brand Adore. I'll leave that in the description box below if you guys are interested. Then I'm going to be using the exact same dye brush that I used in the beginning of the video. Also using the Got2b, I forgot about this, going to be using the Got2b freeze spray, and I'm going to be using that freeze spray to spray into the inside of the lace. This is going to be definitely very, 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 very important because I am using like these 2 color dyes, and you do not want the dye to tint the lace. So it's very important for you to spray it, even if you don't use this exact product. Spray it and make it hard or whatever to the point where like it don't matter how much dye you put onto the hair, it will not tint your lace because your wig will just be completely like useless if you tint your lace. So that's definitely very important. I like to use a lot of freeze spray. So first I'm going to be going in with the Cajun Spice dye. I'm going to be going with the 56 Cajun Spice dye, and I'm going to be using all of that because I found that was like going to give me the exact look that I was going for. So I'm going to use the whole entire bottle of that, and I'm just going to pour that into the bowl, making sure that I just get everything out of the bottle. And then I'm just going to use my dye brush to mix the dye into the water completely, making sure that you really do take your time to really mix it because that will definitely leave your hair patchy. It would leave the ending results to be very patchy. You'll see that your wig is a little bit more darker on one side than the other side. It'll just be bad. So you'll make sure that you really blend it, like you really mix it to where it's like blended completely. I decided to get a piece of tissue. It's just to basically test and see what color it would come out as, and it didn't really give me the color that I needed. So I went in with the second dye. This was the 58 cinnamon, and I used half of that. I didn't want to use all of it. I just wanted to use like half of it, so I'm going to be using that. Then I'm going to mix that until it's blended completely. That's why I say that the Scotch and hot water is definitely very important, because it allows the dye to really blend, and you don't have to really do that much mixing or whatever. Then I just got another piece of tissue, and then as you guys can see, it gave me a different result. So that's more of the look that I was going for. Not too red, not too orange, not too brown, just perfect ginger color. Also, another way of me testing it, I just got like a piece of the wig, and I just kind of dipped it in there, just kind of see if I really wanted that color, just kind of see if I really wanted to add a little bit more of that cinnamon. But it was perfect, so I didn't have to do too much. So when I dipped the hair in, I decided to dip the top, like the actual lace part first. I decided to dip the top of the hair in first. I let that sit in by itself for a couple of seconds, and then I eventually put the whole wig into the bowl. And then I'm just basically using my dye to push the hair into it, because like I said, you want to make sure that it's really marinated into the water, into the mix, because you don't want the wig to be looking light on some sides and dark on the other side. You want it to be pretty mixed, like just well blended no matter what. And then I'm basically just very frequently, I just kind of take out the water, kind of dip in and out of the water. Then you do want to let that the wig sit into the dye for 10 minutes so that it can really take in that color. You don't want to rinse it out like immediately, because it's not really going to take like that. So I'm basically just letting it sit right there. That's not the whole 10 minutes. I did definitely edit some parts out or whatever. So yeah. So as you guys can see, after the 10 minutes is up, I just went back and I just kind of picked the dye up, and it looks a lot more of that actual color. You can actually see the color now, and the actual water actually looks a lot lighter. That means that the dye went from in the bowl to the actual wig, and that's exactly what we want. So now I'm just running some cold water against the hair, and as you guys can see the dye, you can see a lot of the dye leaving out of your hair. And so that's exactly what you want. You don't want to leave the dye in the hair, because it will definitely make your hair just very processed and damaged in the end. So I'm just running that cold water. I did decide to use cold water, by the way. I use cold water just to make sure that the dye is pretty much like gone before I go in and add any type of products like shampoo and conditioner. I'm just going to go back in with the same exact shampoo that I used earlier on in the video, and I'm just going to use it just like I did for the beginning of the video. I just make sure that I lather the shampoo within the hair, and then I'm just going to use my detangling comb, and I'm just going to comb it out as well, making sure that I do get the dye out, and making sure that also the wig is not, all tangled up and everything. And so once I get done rinsing the shampoo out, I went back in with the exact same conditioner as earlier on the video as well. And just like I did the first round when I bleached the hair, I decided to also let the conditioner sit this time for about 5 to 10 minutes as well, making sure that I do really lather up. And because this is the actual dye that I did this go around, I made sure to lather the lace, the actual lace as well, because like I said, you don't want your lace to be tinted, especially because this is orange, and you don't want like your lace to be orange. So you're gonna let the conditioner sit for about 5 minutes. And so this is how the hair looks after I have washed the conditioner out. It looks a little brassy. I'm not really sure why it looks so brassy on the camera, but it actually looks very bronze and copper and just ginger like I like it. But this is also before it is dry, so is always a little bit misleading when it's wet. So that's how it looks wet or whatever right after I got done washing the conditioner out. Definitely looks a lot different from the beginning, like how I started, how it was originally. So this is how the hair looks about 6 hours later. The hair is fully dry, and this is just the outcome of it. I really like how it came out or whatever. I think I did a pretty good job for it to be my very first time. If you guys agree, make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on your post notifications so you guys never miss any of my uploads. Also, I am going to be doing a video in which I actually apply this wig to my actual head when I do apply it, which will be another week from now. So if you guys want to see that video, make sure to leave it down in the comment box below. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
She love Christian, she love diamonds. Pay attention, can I have you? Girl, I want you. Girl, I need you.